Is a child's place on the spectrum fixed?
I can say absolutely not. We had a little girl come in at 16 months. We worked with her, it was probably just under a year, and then she no longer met the criteria, and she went to preschool in a general classroom.
And you're shaking your head as well.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's fixed at all. My eldest, who is almost 25 this summer, is on the spectrum. He's profoundly autistic. I think that knowing your child's place on the spectrum, especially across the span of a lifetime, can change. Where your child is on the spectrum can definitely change. It hasn't changed so much for my son, to be honest. What was profound back then is still profound now. And I gotta be honest about that. But that's not everyone's story.
I understand and identify with your journey so much because my son was profoundly affected when he was little, and he's still profoundly affected.
Sure.
But he's a far different person now than he was.
Yeah.
Life is so much better for him, for our whole family. Is ABA relevant for all children with autism?
I mean, yes, it could work for everybody, for anyone and everyone. ABA is so broad in what we can do. It can be toilet training, it can be learning to look at somebody when they call your name, it can be learning just how to communicate and talk, but it can also be interviewing for a job, getting ready to go on a date, social skills. How do I call and invite a friend over to play? Shaving your legs, taking a shower independently. It's literally behavior. It is what you do every single day. And so if you feel that your child still has areas where they're not meeting maybe milestones for other children their age, or they need support in areas that you feel they should be more independent, then yes, ABA can help. But you have to look at the variables around that.
Okay.
Is everyone that has a very big part in this individual's life, are they on board?
100%.
if the individual is coming and working with their therapist, or the therapist is going to them and they're doing so many hours a week and making beautiful gains and meeting milestones, but say mom or dad or neither are on board, and when the therapist is not in the picture, none of those skills are going to be generalized or reinforced without them.
The lines go back and forth at home. And so I learned quickly, okay, we're gonna do this. We're gonna keep incorporating what he's learning there, because there's no point in going through all that hard work there to like be completely lax and not work on anything at home.
That's why there's got to be that relationship between the clinician and the caregivers. There has to be the trust. You have to have raw honesty with each other. The clinician should be asking, is this doable for you? Is this doable for you and your family? If it's not, tell me why, and we're going to adapt it, because ABA is adaptable and it has to be fit for that individual. So it shouldn't be cookie cutter, stay in the box and do this at home, because that's unrealistic. That's not real life at all.
Yeah. We used to have a table in the corner of our apartment where he would be in the corner and we would be next to him on each side so that he couldn't escape to make it through a meal. Now, I was telling the kids just a couple of years ago, when we were in the midst of COVID and isolation, all that stuff, I remember making dinner, putting it on the table, they all sat down to eat, and I went back out to the garage to finish cleaning, and I was like, oh my God, did you just leave and he's not getting up to wander away and he's sitting with his siblings? It wasn't safe for a while to do that, That's all improvement. That's all things that got better. There's so many things that
sitting
changed.
At the table, though, that's huge.
That's huge
for your
And if I don't
family.
recognize that, that's huge,
Does it impact him and the family and just the dynamic overall? Yeah, that's a win.
Yeah, but are we able to occasionally go out and eat as a family, which we hadn't been able to do we can do that now. Come on, man, that's big.
If everybody's working as a team and they're on board and everybody's got buy-in and everyone's working as a team, yes, it's a very beautiful, magical thing. And I guess what I can say is that it's a therapy that is so individualized to that person, and that is what true good ABA is that it is so individualized for what that individual needs. Meet them where they are, talk to them if they're able to communicate with you what their goals are, talk to the family, and make sure that it is something that what you're working on is going to be impactful to lead them to have greater independence, to have a meaningful life, to have just better outcomes. You're looking at the data and you're making those decisions based on science, but you're applying it to a real human in a compassionate way so that we're using real science and they're the ones making real progress.